without obviously the input from St Luke's Hospice, you've got a lot of residents that we bring in that are fast-tracked, say, end-of-life care. So they would support their pain management and advise the staff on everything that we could do to make their last few hours, days as comfortable as possible. We call them just for advice. You know, if we've got concern, they come and do an assessment on each resident that may not have been here on just for palliative care, but is now led to that due to that health decline. Which obviously, when you've got staff, especially if they've never dealt with anyone on end-of-life care or actually dying, is really useful. Nobody wants to see anyone die in pain, and obviously that's when they will come out and they do their injectable, their end-of-life medication that's prescribed either by injection or arrange a syringe drive. They're a constant support to the families of somebody, of one of the residents, and obviously all of the staff as well.
We want people to have hospice care in their place of residence, if that's in a home or in a care home, because there's just not the capacity for everyone to be able to go into the inpatient unit. We've had to develop a service where someone can stay in their own home but still have the same quality of care, and a lot of people want to die where they've lived, so we're trying to honour that, and we'll do everything that we can to honour it, really, even if it means, like, you know, having to work alongside our consultants and stuff like that, and the GPs. It's rare that they have to go into the hospice if we do our jobs properly here.
And to have that support for everyone, and it's also 24 hours a day, it's not just office hours, you know, they are there all the time for whenever we need them. And if we do a phone call, then if they can't come out, they always send somebody else to come out. You know, they can arrange if we're running out of the medication for, say, syringe drivers, all the authorisations, they do task the GPs, and we can get all that in straight away rather than us doing it with GPs. It does take longer. If it comes from St Luke's Hospice, we get everything we need straight away.
If someone is fast-tracked here and we know that they've got a short prognosis or they're at risk of rapidly deteriorating and they want to die here, and we know that they're not for hospital readmission and stuff like that, we can make sure that all of the end-of-life meds are in place, that the family is all up to date with everything, that they've got a do not resuscitate form in, that we know what to do if they tip or if they become really unwell, anything like that. Same with the staff, so there'll be no unnecessary hospital admissions, there'll be no unnecessary ambulance call-outs, and it helps to make it less distressing, not just for the patient but for everyone involved. When you have a patient that goes into crisis and there's nothing in place, it's really intense and it's a lot of work, and sometimes you can't always get everything in place in time for someone to die well. And even if you do, to have that intense experience isn't nice for the families or the patients or the care staff, and we just want it to be as smooth as possible and it to be as natural as it should be.
I will tend to, me or my deputy will sit with them if the family aren't here, and we sit and hold their hands, because no one needs to die alone either. So if family aren't here, one of my staff members always are, normally men, and that is how as well. So if it's their last hours or days of their life, they want to be as comfortable as we can make them. If they're not eating and drinking, we make sure that, you know, their mouths are not dried out, so their lips are cracking and bleeding and everything else, because you don't want anyone to go like that at all.
It's a privilege, really, to work with people in the last bit of their life, and we all want to die nice and warm and comfy in our beds, so we'd like to do it for other people. And like I said it before, it's just the right thing to do. Everyone has the right to die well.